I always knew there was a chance I would have a hard time getting pregnant. I've had female issues since I can remember. They've ranged from having a period for a whole year to nearly dying from losing half my blood in just 3 days. But in April 2007, we decided to try to become parents. We were so excited a few months later when I got my first positive test. It was short-lived when a few weeks later I miscarried. It took 4 more years for us to get a positive pregnancy test. I got it on Mother's Day of all days. I was so excited. But a little after midnight on August 6th, I got up to use the bathroom, but instead, I gave birth to Malachi Zeke. He was born alive, but there was no way he was going to survive. He was only 19 and a half weeks along. I was so upset. We had to call an ambulance because the placenta didn't drop. And while waiting, I hit my lowest moment. I didn't think I could do it again. The idea, the fear of the loss was too much for me. I didn't know how I could not only physically but emotionally go through that. It took me a few minutes to realize that it was the devil doing that to me. He'd just stolen my baby, and now he wanted to steal the promise God gave me. Back in January of the same year, I'd gotten a promise from God, a vision from God, that we were going to have kids. He even gave me a name to use. And I just knew I had to hold on to that promise. I had to not let the devil win. God used that awful event, though, to get us to a doctor that actually cared about us and our situation. He ran tests to see what was wrong, because Malachi was perfect, but no answer was ever found. In January of 2012, I got my 3rd positive pregnancy test. I was 7 weeks along when I had a blood clot issue. Nothing seemed out of place though, so we continued on, and everything seemed fine, had no more issues. Until Saturday in April, when my water broke. I knew I was losing her. I was only 18 and a half weeks along, but I had this peace, like Jesus was telling me everything would be okay. I went through natural labor, and on April 23rd, 2012, little Sapphire Trinity was born. Again, she looked perfect. She was born alive. She lived 4 hours before going to the Lord. I knew it was just an attack of the devil. He was trying to make me fall apart. He was hoping that I would break, that I would give up on God's promise. But I knew my God was a restorer. I knew His will for me was greater than anything the devil could do to me, and that no matter what, God would give me the strength to get through it. During the hardest times of my losses, when I had those days that I didn't want to go through, I just didn't know what to do, I would have a song I would recite over and over that came to me. That's, "And I may be weak, but your spirit's strong in me. My flesh may fail, but my God, you never will." I knew it wasn't God's will for this to happen to me. I knew that He had greater plans and that He was going to restore what I had lost. 4 months later, I got another positive pregnancy test. Me and Curtis were so excited. Something felt different this time. But other people were like, "Again?" But I just wouldn't let their negativity affect me. I knew I had the joy of the Lord in me, and I knew God was going to work miracles. September 11th, my dad was killed in a horrible car accident. That day, I made a declaration to the devil that he was not taking another one I loved before their time. That the child I was carrying was going to make it to full term. It was going to be perfect and healthy, and it would grow up to be an amazing child of God. Every day, sometimes multiple times a day, I would read scriptures about being blessed, my womb being blessed, about being fruitful and multiplying, and protection over me and my family. When I was 2 weeks past due, I was induced. For 18 hours of labor, I tried to give birth, but little Abby wasn't coming out because she wasn't so little. She was born via C-section, weighing 12 pounds 9 ounces. I only got to see her for a few seconds before they had to take her away to close me up. I had to wait 4 hours to see her. After waiting 6 years and battling 6 years to have a child finally, that 4 hours seemed like eternity. But when I finally did get a hold of her, It was the most amazing feeling in the world. It felt so right, and I felt so blessed. God's timing is so amazing. Abby was born 1 year and 3 days after I lost my little Sapphira. And on August 6th, 2014, exactly 3 years after I lost Malachi, I had another son born, weighing 13 pounds 10 ounces. Nathaniel Thomas was the name God gave me back in 2011 during the fast. Nathaniel means God has given. How perfect is that? And Thomas was my dad's name. Now I have my hands full with these 2 perfect little ones, and every day I'm so grateful for all God has done for me. Jesus is my restorer.